and welcome back to the Foodcast. This is episode 16. We're going to be talking about all cooking.
Hey, what's cooking good looking?
Here in Colorado, we are officially in the time of the year where you need a sweater in the morning and the evening, but by noon you're suffocating because it's so hot.
Oh, see, it's not that dramatic here mostly.
Yeah, there's a wide swing of temperatures during the day.
But I figure if I wear sandals, I can get away with a sweater. Or if I don't wear a sweater, then I have to wear socks and shoes. I have to even it out.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going there. But we're going to take a ride into the mountains this weekend to gawk at all the changing foliage.
So pretty.
I know it is. But it makes me think of Jim Gaffigan's take on fall and the dying of the leaves.
Let's drive by the foliage. It's so beautiful the way the leaves die.
You know, he is so funny.
He really is. We'll post a link to that clip in the show notes. He's so funny.
I like him.
It's not a contest. I love him. He's so funny.
Hot pockets.
I know. But anyway, so like I said, we're going to talk about fall cooking. It's my favorite time of the year with all the slow cooker recipes. And yes, I said slow cooker, not crock pot.
That's a brand.
It's a brand, and you can use whatever brand you like. I have a Revel.
I have the Costco one, whatever it was.
Okay.
I have no idea what brand it is. I don't pay attention.
And that's okay. I like mine because it has like a bunch of other features, like a browning feature and a steaming feature, so you can do other things in it, or you can do other things before you do slow cooking. So that's I always like.
Well, I do want to also say that if you have watched the show This Is Us, there is absolutely no such thing as a crockpot blowing up and burning down the house and killing people. It's just never going to happen. It's totally fake, made for TV nonsense. So bust out your slow cooker and use it all day when you're not home.
I think the only times that there have been ones that have cracked, it was people who took the hot, especially if it was the ceramic one, and then either put it on a cold surface or, put other cold things into it or, something like that where it was a temperature shock. I don't think the machine has never done that I can ever find.
No, I've had several different slow cookers throughout the years because they get grimy and then I go, I just better to get a new one.
Well, and those kind too are cheap enough. And they're nice if you're having a part. Like I have a couple because I have one that I have dedicated to when I do skincare stuff. And then that way, even though everything when I do skincare is with food related products, still there's something about it. It's just like that way I don't have to figure so much about getting all the wax or whatever. And, I do, but it's just like, okay, this one is skincare. This one is food. But
is there beeswax in your chili?
It's what makes it so thick.
I knew it.
Dang it. The secret's out. Just kidding. There's
then you
no
don't
wax.
need to add honey.
Yeah, right. But then, if you're having a party or whatever, it's nice to have a little one for a dip or whatever.
You're a dip.
You guys missed us all summer, didn't you? In our
oh my gosh.
fun.
I missed this.
I know.
It was hard to just talk to you normal.
No, without a recording. It was so weird.
I know. I wasn't on so much.
Oh, okay. So back to cooking. So first and foremost.
So can I tell you my favorite recipe?
Yeah.
In the slow cooker machine?
Tell me.
Broth.
I love it. That is the one I wanted to tackle
meat
first.
Broth.
Meat.
And it could also be poultry.
Goodness, we're off the rails.
In my home, I will do a broth out of beef bones or turkey carcass or chicken bones. I have yet to do a fish. I don't think I ever will. I really don't like it.
Well, and how often do you need fish broth? I mean, maybe some people do, but I don't.
Some people probably do for their fishy things, and they're going to make a fish sauce, and it needs fish broth, but my nose doesn't want that.
I know. Well, I have done some.
You did popcorn.
I did popcorn stock, but I did not do that in the slow cooker. But you could. Yeah. No, now that you say that. But there have been times where, for whatever reason, we were doing something and I didn't want the smell of the broth that was cooking. So I just had it plugged out in the garage while it was going.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I usually also buy boxes of it.
Oh.
The organic turkey broth or chicken broth.
I know, but it's just so easy to make.
Of course it is.
If you don't know, for those listening, you can go to your grocery store, especially like Whole Foods, Sprouts, like those kind of places. They don't necessarily keep them out, but if you ask the butcher for some bones, they'll get you some stock bones. So you don't have to save up if you don't have any, if you buy boneless meat or whatever. And then, whether or not you roast them before you make your stock, I don't know. The jury's still out. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't if I'm in a hurry.
You mean just roasting the bones?
Roast the bones first. Sometimes it adds a little, but I don't know that it really adds that much depth of flavor
to account for all that extra cooking time.
Yeah. If you're sensitive enough to taste it, then by all means go for it. But America's Test Kitchen, they just throw a whole chicken in with the meat and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a raw chicken?
The raw chicken with all your veggies, cover with water, splash of ACV, apple cider vinegar, good amount of salt, and then you just turn it on low for 24 hours. And then when you're done, you have poached chicken to use for whatever you want to use. And I think that really does add more flavor when you actually have the meat in there too.
That's a really good idea. I hadn't thought to actually cook the chicken.
Yeah, I know.
I always do it as the second step.
Right.
We baked the chicken, we roasted the chicken, and now, oh, look, we get a free broth.
Yeah, it actually, I think it adds way more flavor. So I think it kind of depends on whether or not, if you want a broth that you're just going to use for something that already has a lot of flavor and you just want a little.
No, you just need the liquid.
Yeah.
I've been drinking the stock every morning because I'm off coffee right now, but I need a hot thing in the morning.
To get your day store.
Yeah, so I have been drinking broth, but I have tons of it in the freezer, so I have to remember the day before, which is now reminding me, get ready for tomorrow, to take some out of the freezer. Yeah, so it can defrost a bit, and at least I can heat it up without hurting myself on a chunk of frozen broth.
Yeah, so you can either do, the whole chicken if you've got one, or if you just, roasted a turkey or a chicken or whatever for dinner, use the carcass. And I even like to save up scraps for anytime I'm chopping onions or peeling carrots.
Oh, yeah.
Save all the scraps, lots of the celery, that kind of stuff. Throw that in the freezer. I see your face. Remember, we can see each other, and I saw her getting all squirrely about when I said the butt of the celery.
And what? Save all those weird little parts of the chicken that you don't know what they're called, like all
the gizzards and the neck and the
stuff you can't eat, but it's flavorful. So
you can, but we don't. Some people do. But save all those, freeze them all, and then throw them in with your carcass or with your whatever, cover with water. And then, I do a splash. I don't really measure. What did you say? Like maybe a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar if you're just doing bones?
I don't even use that much, I don't think. Maybe I should use more.
Well, and so why you want to add the apple cider vinegar is that pulls the marrow out of the bones, which is what's going to give you that flavor. And then the marrow is what's going to give you that awesome gelatinous consistency when it cools. And you want that too, because that's good cartilage. It helps your cartilage, helps your bones, helps your skin.
Collagen. You ever heard of that for your face?
Mm-hmm. So you want to pull all that out of the bones. And so you want a good amount.
And what helps?
That you'll taste it.
Oh, yeah, no.
And then a good amount of salt. On a whole 8-quart slow cooker, I'd probably do maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt, if not more.
Oh, see, I don't think I use enough salt either. I salt at the end when I'm going to use it as well. So I pre-salt salt.
I think when you do it beforehand, it melts in and actually gets into the flavor. It's kind of like Epsom salts in the bath. You just want to, I don't know. Anyway, and then and then you just throw it in the slow cooker, turn it on low for 24 hours and just let it go. And then after 24 hours, you strain it and throw it in little silicone molds or mason jars or whatever.
Yeah, I've been using mason jars in the freezer.
Well, that's good if you know you're going to drink it, because then it's already in a ready-made glass. So.
It scares me, though, because when it's frozen solid, I'm afraid I'm going to drop it and smash it everywhere.
The last time I made turkey broth, I didn't realize that I filled them too full. Like they didn't look too full when they were liquid, but they were definitely too full when they froze, and they all 8 of them broke in the freezer. And I had to throw it all away. I know.
That's sad.
It was, because I was not just sad about the broken mason jars, but all that broth had to go away because I didn't want somebody chomping on a piece of glass. So, that was sad.
Probably freezer had issues in it now, too.
So yeah, there was a little bit of liquid, a little bit of mess we had to clean up. But anyway, we recovered quickly because we eat a lot of chicken and turkey around here. So
You know what else you can get? I know you were talking about going to Whole Foods and talking to the butcher. My friend Kathy, hey Kath, she likes to ask either Farmer Nick or Whole Foods for chicken feet.
Yep.
And chicken feet make the most gelatinous stock. It's crazy. It's even creepy.
It's creepy, but it's awesome.
The feet are creepy.
Yeah. My friend has a farm and he raises turkeys. And so he's given me quite a few turkey feet.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, same thing. It's kind of creepy, but it makes the most gelatinous. Heather's making turkey feet motions across the computer screen.
That's weird.
But it's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, so I think we've talked enough about broth.
Okay, just go do it. It's freaking easy.
It's easy. I don't have a recipe. If you need one, email us. We'll send it.
You could do it in the pressure cooker too if you want. If you can't wait 24 whole hours for it to do it by itself, do it in the pressure cooker. What is it, 3 hours on high?
Something like that. I tried it and I think it tastes just the same. I don't think I get any different results. The only issue with my pressure cooker is it's small. It's not as big as my cooker, so I have to work at it. I have to break down the carcass more, and then I don't think I get as much liquid out of it. So, but that's my only issue with that. If you have a really
That's your only issue? Really?
That's not that kind of podcast.
Okay, move on.
All right. So Heather, you made last year for Halloween, you did pressure cooker pumpkin. Tell us about that.
I did. Well, we had pumpkin. Hey, pumpkin. We had our pumpkins on the doorstep, looking all cute and adorbs. And then
not carved.
No, not carved, just decorative. But they were regular, pumpkins that you could eat. Mm-hmm. I don't know what other kind there are, but I'm sure. I don't know why I said that. Whatever.
The plastic ones? Sure. Don't eat those.
It was not that kind. So I cut up the pumpkin into huge chunks, took out the seeds, and then I actually had 2 slow cookers rolling and the pressure cooker, and I put all of I made sure it was washed. Because if you're going to put the skin in there, you don't want the dirt from the outside on there. So that I just had the whole thing rolling. In the slow cooker, I just put a half cup of water, put it on high for 3 hours. And then once it's all done, the pumpkin flesh is so soft and squishy. And you just scrape it off of the skin. And then I strain it. I don't know if you need to or what have you, but I find that I like that little bit thicker consistency. It's more like the canned version. And then I packaged it in 2-cup servings and put it in baggies in the freezer. So that way, if a recipe calls for a can of pumpkin, I already have it prepackaged. I just need to defrost it.
So then it's all ready for your pies or your pumpkin bread.
Oh gosh, pumpkin bread.
Barely eats a lot of pumpkin too. We put it in her food because she loves, especially if she's had a little tummy ache. It's good.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes she gets a little uppity about her kibble. So if there's a scoop of pumpkin in there, she's like, "Oh, okay, I like it now."
You know what else helps? Bacon fat.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, the dog will eat all of it if you put bacon fat on it.
Or, a little drizzle, not the dog food, sorry, I'm back to the pumpkin, but I just add a little
thank you for clarifying.
Drizzle of maple syrup, and it's an awesome side dish to, whatever protein you've got going on. Yum. So what else you can do our famous chili, our phoodmoose chili. But just be sure to brown the meat first or it'll be sad at the finished product.
And it'll be so greasy.
Yeah, and it's just that goes for any meat that you use in a slow cooker recipe. So be sure to either use your browning or your saute feature if you have an electric slow cooker, or cook it separately before you add it to the pot, because it'll not only add some yummy flavor, but it will add a nice color to the product. And if you skip it, it really will be sad. It'll be kind of gray and just, if you miss the step, you'll miss the step. Yeah. And then, it's football season too. So we've been making our gluten-free Chex Mix in the slow cooker.
Oh, I love that stuff.
And it's just easier than I don't know why, it's just easier than in the oven. And you just I've got the recipe coming up in an upcoming blog post, but you add all the fun stuff, you add your butter and Worcestershire mixture, and then you put a couple layers of paper towels between the Chex Mix and the lid to absorb any of the moisture so that it doesn't get soggy. Yeah. And then you just stir it every hour. And then after about 3 hours, it's done. Throw it on some sheet pans to cool, and it's done. It's perfect.
That's a great idea. I had never considered that.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just your regular Chex Mix, only, we just use gluten-free pretzels and cheddar crisps and whatever the gluten-free Chex Mix we can find. And now that Cheerios is gluten-free, that's fun. We add that in. Maybe some almonds or cashews, because I don't do peanuts. And yeah, it's just good. And then the only thing is the seasoned salt. Make sure, especially if you have any, gluten issues, make sure you read the label that they didn't sneak in something, get a gluten-free version.
Can I please just tell you?
Huh?
I'm so hungry right now.
Well, well, why don't you tell people a little bit about what you've been doing lately?
So I have been on an autoimmune protocol for the last couple of weeks, and I'm still tweaking it because, you read all the stuff and you're like, okay, don't eat this, but you can eat this. Well, then you forget maybe one thing, and then you're out somewhere and you go, oh my gosh, I don't know. Can I eat this? I think I can. Sure. And then all of a sudden the next day you go, crap, I wasn't supposed to eat that. So there are a lot of things that I am not eating right now until I can calm my immune system down and figure out what's affecting me in a negative way. I know gluten affects me, but there's so many other things that I think might be playing a role as well. So I've chopped out many different foods, focusing on lots of protein, lots of vegetables, lots of fruit. So it's a whole foods philosophy. It's hard when you go, nope, no Chex Mix for me, please. Oh, no black pepper on my meat for me, please.
Yeah, that was a surprising one.
Yeah, that shocked me a little. Being on the road,
it's not a forever thing.
It's not a forever
just to get you healed so that you can reintroduce some foods and see how you react.
Correct. Unfortunately, sometimes it's easier to just skip the meal rather than fight with what can I do? Which it's so freaking boring. I'm a food person. I need to eat the food. So
and that's not healthy either to not eat.
Blah blah blah. So I found couple blog posts online and a couple books. So I am doing more investigation to try to make things a little more enticing and interesting.
So maybe a blog post coming up in the future of your how it's gone for you.
Sure.
Yes. Good.
Eating out
that's
horrific.
Hard. And I got to give you props. You've been traveling while doing this. And
it's really rough.
You have stuck with it, because I think I probably would have been like, screw it, I'll do it when I get back.
Well, right. But that's the thing. It's like I've already a couple weeks in, so I don't want to say, oh, screw it, because I've already committed a bunch of time, and my body is hopefully, fingers crossed, on the healing process.
Well, you feel better, right? I mean, even though it's not 100%, you've noticed changes in a positive way, right?
For sure. I feel a lot less puffy, more energetic. I'm still waiting for the brain fog to clear a little bit more, but I feel better. Yeah. So I'm just waiting to feel amazing.
Well, good.
I'll let you know when that happens.
All right. So we won't talk about snacking anymore.
Well, you can if you have to.
Oh, you know what's funny is we just realized, so we have this toaster oven. It's a Breville toaster oven, and I've had it probably 4 years, if not longer. And I just realized that it has a slow cooker function on it. I don't really know what that means yet.
Yeah, because it's not an enclosed unit. It's a toaster oven. So there's...
Yeah. So I honestly don't know. I got to get the book out and figure out what that means, but I'm curious.
Maybe it's more like a dehydrator kind of thing where it's slow and long.
Oh, maybe. I'll have to let you know.
Because technically it's slow cooking.
That's true.
If you do it that way, but it's not what we know it as, a slow cooker, which is the cool machine you could put liquids in.
Yeah. And FYI, make sure there's liquids. My husband made a meatloaf a couple years ago in the slow cooker, and it had one of those soup packet things, to flavor it. This was several years ago, actually. And he forgot to put the beef broth in.
Oh.
So that soup packet absorbed every ounce of liquid from that the meat gave off. And it was like a brick.
I bet that was delicious.
And the sad thing is the flavor was really good. Like, we did take a couple bites. The flavor was good, but you could not, it was so dense that you could barely chew it. It was awful.
But maybe you could have put it into a broth at the end and made a meatball soup.
We didn't think of that. We just kept looking at each other going, Well, now what? And then I don't remember. We probably ordered a pizza or something. Who knows? This was
I bet you did.
back when we lived in Florida. It was, yeah, I swear that boy, every time he tries so hard.
Oh, well, he's pretty.
I know. Any hoodle. All right. So
So what do you have for a ditch and switch? I think it's pretty obvious one.
I think it is pretty obvious.
I alluded to it.
We just explained how easy it is to make your own broth. So I think you need to ditch the sodium-laden weirdo store-bought stuff and make your own, and then see if you can go back. Because I don't think you will. I mean,
Just
for emergencies, I'm not gonna lie. I do have a carton of the organic whatever of chicken broth in the pantry for emergencies in case I run out or
a chicken emergency.
I drop that frozen mason jar. Whatever. But on the whole, we use the homemade stuff because it's just too easy, and the bones at the store are cheap because what else are they going to do with them? Like, nobody buys them. So they're super cheap. It's super easy. Set it on low, 24 hours, forget it, strain it. The end.
Your house will smell like meat, though.
Yeah.
Be ready for that. So if you do it overnight, you wake up in the morning, it's a little bit, it's jarring. It's just odd.
Yeah.
Like you wake up and you're like, why does my house smell like Thanksgiving?
Well, and our kitchen is right off our bedroom. So there are times where it'll be in my dream where I'm like, it's all of a sudden Thanksgiving or something in my dream because I can smell it. Maybe one of those
times. The dog too.
Yeah. They get all pacey. But it could be one of those times where you have it going in the garage just so that you don't have to smell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Ditch the store-bought stuff, make your own, and enjoy it. All right.
It'll take you less time than we took to talk about it.
So don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at phoodmoose.com. Find us at Phoodmoose on Facebook and Insta. Don't forget to subscribe also to this podcast where we found it in all the places.
So you'll get all the episodes when they come live.
No, because we know you missed us.
I know.
We missed you.
I did.
All right. From both of us, go forth, be real, moose out.